Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So I'm going to be pulling some shards today. I'm going to be pulling some sacred shards for the summon rush for the new fusion, which is Razel Varg. So he's the rabbit. If anyone doesn't know, he's the new fusion that came out. I think it started yesterday. So Razel Varg is one of these really unique champions. He's got a kit that no other champion in the game has necessarily. So on his A1, he's got attacks enemy 3 times. Each hit fills this champion's turn meter by 5%. He's got an A2 that places a leech, attacks all enemies. And then an A3 which attacks all enemies and places an increased speed and increased accuracy on all champions on the team. But the most interesting thing about him is his passive. So for each increased speed buff placed on this champion, increases this champion's speed by 5 and can stack up to 100. So essentially, if you've got a long-running fight, like a clan boss, for example, you can build him with, for example, 200 speed, and then by the time, once he gets in a couple of turns, and once he gets his increased speed up a couple of times, it can stack up to 100, so he's going to have 300 speed. So he's a really unique champion in that regard. He's quite hard to speed tune in clan boss and stuff like that because of his A1 increasing turn meter. But if you can get it down and you can sort of work it out, then he could be a really, really interesting champion. So for me, he's a bit like a Brogni. A lot of people, there's sort of mixed reviews on him so far on the internet. Some people are saying don't get him, some people are saying get him. But for me, I think he's going to be one of those champions that really comes out of the woodwork later on once a couple of more intelligent people than me have worked out how to speed tune him and stuff like that. And then I think he's going to become a really, really, really good and strong champion. So we'll just go into the Summon Rush event. So you can see here we've got 2,150 points for the rare for the fusion, and then 4,925 for the epic. So for anyone who's watched my channels or watched anything I talk about with shard pulling, I save my sacred shards for fusion and fragment summon events, so I can guarantee the champion. So when Missionarchy came out on a guaranteed champ for pulling shards event a couple of weeks ago, I didn't pull him because I was holding out for the fusion, because that's just how I play the game. I enjoy doing it and I enjoy being able to say that I've got that fusion. In retrospect, I really wish I'd pulled Missionarchy. I really wish I'd pulled him. It would have used all of my shards. It would have used all of my mystery shards as well. But I really wish I'd pulled him. So big regrets from me. But here we go. So I'm going to pull 10. It's 500 points per sacred shard. So if I pull 10 sacred shards, it's going to bring me up to 5,000 points, which is going to get me the epic, which is going to get me well ahead of the curve on this fusion. And I can use that epic and not have to do so many events later on. So yeah, I'll go back to this. I'll go back to the summoning portal and let's get started. So there is a ×10 event on as well. I think it's the sort of block out champions. I'm not really interested in any of the epics or the void champions because I don't have enough void shards, but I'm not really interested in these 3 epics. I've got most of them already. What really interests me is Staltus. I really want Staltus. I think he looks really cool. I think he's a great looking champion, and he has quite a unique kit as well. He can bounce back any poisons placed on him onto the enemy poisoning them. So for me, he's a really good champion, and he's being really well utilised in the new hard mode Dragon Dungeon. I think he was a guaranteed champion and I didn't pull for him back along, but I've seen some people doing some really interesting stuff with him and I really want him. So 10 times event for him, Lady Kimmy and Countess Lix, who I don't have. I have Lady Kimmy on both accounts, but Countess Lix I don't have on either account. Not as interested in Countess Lix as I am Stultus, but I'll take her if I can. It's a non-dupe for me on both of my accounts. So yeah, I'll take a Countess Lix. So let's get into it. I've got room and let's just start pulling. So number 1, an epic, and it's a missionary. No, thank you. Don't need a missionary on this account. Thank you. Number 2, another epic, and Adriel. I've never used Adriel and I've never seen anyone else use her. Let's keep going. Let's hope for a legendary. Armina. Not for me. Another epic. Captain Tamelia. I just hope that I get 1 legendary. If it's Stultus, then, you know, I'll be buzzing about that. But I just hope I get at least 1 legendary. Let's keep going. Visionary. Another epic. Another Armina. I don't need an Armina. I think out of those sort of epic decreased defense champions, Armina's probably the worst one. Fudball. Great for Faction Wars. I've already beat Faction Wars. I don't need him. I'm not going to use him in any other content. But there we go. You can see his kit. I popped it on screen. I don't need to talk about it. Let's hope for this legendary. I don't think I'm going to get one. Pitiless one. Pitiless one. It's not looking good. Another great champion for Faction Wars, Kaden. He's got a revive for the Dark Elves. So if you don't have any of the big boy Dark Elf champions, he can come in as a reviver to help you in those later stages of Faction Wars. Moving on though, I already got him. I've already beat Faction Wars game, so I don't need it. A legendary. A Lady Kimmy. That's a dupe Lady Kimmy actually. And I can't remember what account I'm on to be honest, but yeah, a dupe Lady Kimmy. She'll be going into my Faction Guardians. I probably won't build out a second one anytime soon unless she suddenly becomes really relevant in the game. Maybe with Live Arena, she might be more relevant if she can block out enemies. What can she do? Well, I've already got her. I don't need to talk about her. We'll pull one more Sacred and then we're gonna be there, I think. Let's have a look at the event. Oh no, that's all 10. There we go, guys. So you can see I've got the epic and I've got the rare there. And I've got all the resources along the way. Not that interesting resources. I'll take a chicken anytime as a free-to-player. I'll take the energy to do the Dragon and Dungeon Divers tournaments on at the moment. And the XP barrel, I save them. I've got XP barrels. I very rarely use them because, well, I just level the champions manually. It's fairly easy. But there we go, guys. So I'll log on to my other account and we'll pull on that one. Just quickly, while we're on the Galek account, so I don't have to log back into it, I'll just pull these Mortal Soul Stones. I've got 10 saved up, and we'll pull the Immortal one if I can afford it. Let's hope for something interesting. A 2-star Grunch, a 2-star Fodbar. I call him Fodbar, but clearly that's not the right name. No blessings in there that I'm going to use. Take that, and I don't have enough for the Immortal Soul Stone. So I'll go onto the other account and we'll pull the shards, and I'll pull the blessings on that one as well. So here we are on my Kale account, guys. I just want to say my Kale account has suddenly become my sort of arena account. I've always been more arena focused or more had more success in arena on my Galek account. I have a blended team with Sinesha and Skullcrown on that account. But in my last couple of videos, I've pulled some great champions. So I pulled Sifi in one of my videos. If you want to go back and watch my reaction, it's a pretty funny one. So I've got my Sifi and I've got Warlord in the vault that I've never built. But because of Live Arena, I think I need to start building him. And I've seen Stultus, who is on my wishlist for this account as well. I've seen Stultus being used in Arena quite well, and he's quite a good champion for Arena. So even more of a reason that I might want him on this account, because I was doing a bit of a Live Arena last night for the first time, and I had a much higher success rate on my Kale account than I did on my Galek account, which really surprised me. But I think because I've got that blender team on my Galek account, I've never built any other champions out for Arena, whereas on my Kale account I had to do a lot more playing around with different champions and putting different champions in different comps in. So you know, I've got a couple of good damage dealers going on. I've got a Sifi and an Arb as like a bit of a bait, so I can use those two champions to sort of bait each other out. My Sifi's at 304 speed, so she's, you know, she doesn't have a speed aura or anything like that, but she's a good speed lead, or a lead to put those buffs she puts on. And then I've got my Arbiter as pure speed lead. So yeah, suddenly this account has become quite good for Arena and for doing different comps and stuff like that. So I wouldn't mind a Stultus on this account as well. So we'll just get into it. I've got room. Let's start pulling and let's hope we get him. I mean, I'll take any other legendary. I'll take a Brogni. I'll take a Missionarchy. As I missed him as the guaranteed. Morag. Morag's one of those weird champions, I think, that is actually really good. But I haven't used her or built her up, so we'll move on. Another epic. Skaramus. I think I've already got Skaramus on one of these accounts, so hopefully I've got him on the other account now. He's another champion with a weird kit, I think. Sort of mixed reviews on him, but we'll move on. I don't need to look at his kit. I'm only interested in legendaries today. Ender Moonbeam. Let's keep going. I've already spoke about it. And Legendary. And another dupe Lady Kimmy. So I've got a dupe Lady Kimmy on both accounts now. I don't really need them. I don't know if that sounds a bit snobby, but I don't really need a dupe Lady Kimmy, but it might be really useful in the future. As I said, if Lady Kimmy becomes really relevant in the game, I'm not saying she's not relevant. She's a great speed enhancer in the arena, so maybe I'll have 2 Lady Kimmys, and one as a bait champion for live arena, and the other one as the actual champion that I want, or maybe just build them both out. I don't know. But yeah, moving on. I don't need to look at Lady Kimmy's kit, but we probably should. Let's just hope we get the Stultus that we want. A Lady Kimmy. I've got 2 dupe Lady Kimmys. Franox. Is that a new champion? So Franox, what's she got? So she's got an A1, attacks one enemy, has a 40% chance of facing decreased speed. She's got inflicts 100% more damage against targets without buffs. I don't know why you would want that necessarily. And then attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit has a 50% chance of stealing 1 buff from the target. Places block debuffs for 2 turns if the target has no buffs after this attack. Very niche kit, probably won't ever build that champion. Moving on. Another epic. I don't think I'm going to get another legendary, but it's always worth it. It's always worth the wish. My hopes and dreams. Delver is a no. Bushy. Looks just like Missionary, who I pulled on my other account. No, thank you. Who's this? Terror Beast, one of the dogs. I think I had 10 slots available. I hope I'm not overdoing it and using all of my sacreds. Morag again. Last one, legendary. No, it's an epic. And a Venomage. So we'll just go and make sure that I've got all the points that I need for the event. Into the summon rush. Yeah, there we go, guys. So you can see I've got the champions that I need. I've got the points that I need. We'll just go and pull these mortal stones. I'm not going to have enough to buy an immortal one, which is obviously a lot more interesting. I just want to say, guys, I can pull these sacred shards. It's not a problem for me. The rate that I save them is generally I save them in between fragments or fusions, and then I have enough to be able to pull in them. Legendary. For a Marishka, which I don't have and probably never will. I just want to say, yeah, for the champion chase that's going to be part of this fusion, I have Supreme Elhain waiting in the wings, and the Doom Tower champion, and I've also got Lydia on both accounts ready to pull for the champion chase. I'll do that on video because Lydia is one of those champions that I really want, but I've just been holding off on it, holding off, so she can be utilised when I pull her. And I can just get more bang for my buck. So there we go, guys. A Lady Kimmy, dupe Lady Kimmy on both accounts. I don't know if that's a good thing, but I've got it. So there we are. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.